There are over 1,500 different credit card options available in the US, which means there are millions of possible credit card combinations to choose from. Contrary to popular belief, you don't need 10 plus credit cards in order to play the credit card game effectively. And so if you want the minimum number of credit cards that will reap the maximum amount of rewards, this video is for you. The truth is, you really only need these 5 credit cards in your wallet. Now in this video, we are going to focus on the ultimate team travel credit card setup. But if this video performs well, I'll be sure to make the ultimate team cashback setup as well. So if you want to see that, be sure to like this video and subscribe so that you don't miss that video. Alright, so in order to build the perfect 5 card combination for team travel, it's very similar to building the all-time starting 5 NBA lineup. You don't necessarily want the 5 best players ever, but rather the best combination of 5 players that when working together create the most dominant team. Now before we start, the best 5 card setup for team travel is not just about trying to maximize the earnings multiplier for every possible spend category. It's just as critical to take advantage of intro bonuses, have the most flexible travel redemption options, and get access to the best travel benefits like airport lounge access and travel protections. Alright, with all that said, let's get into the first credit card, and we are starting off with the Chase Freedom Flex. This no annual fee credit card has a new card member offer of $200 after you spend $500 on purchases in your first 3 months, giving you a 40% return on spend. That's essentially as good as it gets for any no annual fee credit card, giving you the lowest minimum spend requirement for the $200 bonus. When it comes to reward rates, the Freedom Flex is filled with earning opportunities across top spending categories. You get 5% back on up to $1,500 in combined purchases in bonus categories each quarter, 5% back on travel purchased through Chase Travel, 3% back on dining at restaurants, 3% back on drugstore purchases, and unlimited 1% cash back on all other purchases. Now the 5% cash back is available on broad everyday spending categories such as gas stations, grocery stores, department stores, wholesale clubs, and Amazon, just to name a few. Here you can see the bonus categories calendar over the last 2 years. So as you can see, you will most likely be able to rack up a ton of bonus rewards without really having to change your spending habits. The only caveat is that the bonus categories are announced only a few weeks prior to the start of each quarter, and you'll need to make sure you activate the bonus categories every quarter, or else you won't be eligible for the bonus rewards and instead only earn 1% back on your spending. However, you can activate bonus categories retroactively, meaning as long as you activate the bonus categories by the 14th day of the 3rd month in the quarter, you'll still receive 5% back for all spending in those bonus categories for the quarter, even if those purchases were made before you activated. Now, in addition to its earning multipliers, the Chase Freedom Flex has some other great benefits, including purchase protection, extended warranty protection, trip cancellation and interruption insurance, cell phone protection, and auto rental coverage. Now, in order to get approved for this card, you need to have good credit, so ideally a FICO score of 690 or higher in order to get approved, assuming you're under Chase's 524 rule. If you don't know about this rule, essentially if you've opened up more than 5 personal cards in the past 2 years, even if the cards are from issuers other than Chase, you will automatically be denied for a Chase credit card. Now, if you're watching this video and only want a 5 card setup, this is probably irrelevant to you, but it is something to keep in mind for those that have more than a handful of credit cards. And then, not that this is critical, since we should always be paying off our credit card balances on time and in full every month, but the card does offer 0% intro APR on purchases and balance transfers for the first 15 months. Now, the only major downside to this card is that it does have a 3% foreign transaction fee, making it not ideal for international travel. However, that's why we have some other cards in this setup. And then last and most importantly, while the Chase Freedom Flex is technically considered a cashback card, rewards actually come in the form of Chase Ultimate Reward points. So each Chase Ultimate Reward point is typically worth 1 cent, but several Chase cards give you a way to redeem them for 25 to 50% more value when booking travel through the Chase Travel Portal. So if you transfer the points earned from the Chase Freedom Flex to a few other Chase cards, you can get even better value with your rewards. With the Sapphire Preferred or Econ Business Preferred, each point is worth 1.25 cents, and with the Chase Sapphire Reserve, each point is worth 1.5 cents when redeemed for travel booked through Chase. So for example, 100,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points would be worth $1,000 in the Chase Travel Portal if you only had the Chase Freedom Flex. But if you also had the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which gives you 25% more value, those same points would be worth $1,250. And if you had the Chase Sapphire Reserve, which gives you a 50% boost, those 100,000 points would be worth $1,500 in the travel portal. So then which of these cards should be included in our ultimate 5-card setup? For most individuals, I think it should be the Chase Sapphire Preferred. This card has a $95 annual fee and a new card member offer of 60,000 bonus points after you spend $4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months from account opening, which is worth a minimum of $750 when redeemed for travel through the Chase Travel Portal, since you get the 25% boost with this card. When it comes to the card's earning multipliers, you get 5x points on travel booked through Chase Travel, 2x points on all other travel, 3x points on dining, select online grocery, and select streaming services, and 1x points on all other purchases. Now, Chase's definition of travel is actually very broad, so in addition to flights and hotels, it also includes all of the following travel expenses. The ones I want to highlight are bus and train fares, taxis, tolls, and parking, which are everyday spending categories for a lot of individuals who commute to and from work. And so the two main spending categories I would leverage this card for within this 5-card setup is 3% on streaming services, which includes subscriptions like Netflix, YouTube TV, Disney Plus, and HBO Max, and then 2% on those other travel purchases like train and bus fares, tolls, and parking to cover some of your transportation costs. And that is because, as you will see, we have another card in the lineup that is even better for restaurants and grocery purchases. Now, the card has some other benefits, the first being a $50 annual credit on hotel stays purchased through Chase Travel, reducing the card's effective annual fee down to $45. You also receive $150 in additional partnership benefit value, which includes a complimentary DoorDash Dash Pass subscription, and then 5x on both Peloton purchases and Lyft rides through March 31st, 2025, which may have ended depending on when you're seeing this video. On top of that, each account anniversary, you earn bonus points equal to 10% of your total purchases made the previous year. But to be completely honest, this benefit sounds a lot better than it actually is. For example, if you spend $25,000 on purchases, you'll only get 2,500 bonus points, which is the equivalent to about $31. Now, in addition to these extra credits and bonus points you receive with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you also get other travel benefits, including no foreign transaction fees, trip cancellation and interruption insurance, auto rental coverage, baggage delay insurance, trip delay reimbursement, purchase protection, and extended warranty protection. Many of these benefits sound similar to the Chase Freedom Flex. However, there are some unique differences that I quickly want to highlight. For example, your trip cancellation and interruption insurance with the Chase Sapphire Preferred covers you up to $10,000 per covered traveler and $20,000 per trip for your prepaid non-refundable travel expenses, instead of just $1,500 per covered traveler and $6,000 per trip with the Chase Freedom Flex. Also, the auto rental coverage with the Sapphire Preferred is primary insurance coverage instead of secondary with the Chase Freedom Flex, meaning it kicks in before your personal auto insurance, making this a better card to use for booking rental cars. Now, with all of that said, the biggest perk with the Chase Sapphire Preferred is that it unlocks the power to transfer your points to Chase's travel partners. So far, we've discussed how these first two cards work well together because you can transfer your points from your Freedom Flex to the Sapphire Preferred and redeem them for travel through Chase's online portal, where they're worth 25% more. However, a potentially better option is to still transfer your points from your Freedom Flex to the Sapphire Preferred, but then transferring those points on your Sapphire Preferred out to one of Chase's travel partners, such as Hyatt, British Airways, Singapore Airlines, or United. This is because you will typically receive between 2 to 3 cents per point in value by transferring points out to Chase's travel partners, which far exceeds the 1.25 cent per point value you get booking through the Chase Travel Portal with the Sapphire Preferred. If you want to learn the basics of transferring your Chase Ultimate Reward points out to travel partners, I will link a video I made that goes through all of this down in the description. Now, moving on, the third card you need in your setup is the American Express Gold Card. Now, I've personally had this card for over 4 years now, And while the card underwent a controversial revamp in late July of last year, I have to say I think the new version provides more value to the majority of cardholders. By the way, if you're curious about what changes were made, I made a full video explaining all the changes to this card that I will also link down in the description. But to start, this card offers a standard intro bonus offer of 60,000 membership reward points after spending $6,000 in the first 6 months. Now, when it comes to its reward multipliers, the Amex Gold is the ultimate card for foodies and just everyday spending in general because it offers 4x points at restaurants worldwide on up to $50,000 in purchases per year, 4x points at US supermarkets on up to $25,000 in purchases per year, 3x points on flights booked directly with airlines or on AmexTravel.com, 2x points on prepaid hotels and other eligible purchases booked on AmexTravel.com, and 1x points on all other purchases. Now, the card does come with a hefty $325 annual fee, but comes with over $500 in annual credits and benefits that can help offset the annual fee, provided that you use them. You get $120 of Uber Cash annually, which come as $10 a month of Uber Cash that you can use on Uber Eats orders or Uber rides in the US when you use the Amex Gold as the payment method. You also get an annual $84 of Dunkin' credit, which come in the form of $7 monthly statement credits after you enroll and pay with the Amex Gold at Dunkin' locations. You also get a $120 annual dining credit, which is provided in $10 monthly statements when you enroll and pay with the Amex Gold at Grubhub, The Cheesecake Factory, Goldbelly, Wine.com, or Five Guys. Now, all of these monthly credits don't roll over month to month, so keep in mind if you don't use them in a given month, you'll lose them. And then you also get up to $100 in statement credits each calendar year after you pay with the American Express Gold Card to dine at US Resi restaurants or make other eligible Resi purchases. And that's up to $50 in statement credits semi-annually. And again, if you don't use the semi-annual credits within the 6-month period, you'll lose them. And lastly, you also become a part of the hotel collection program and receive a $100 credit towards eligible charges with every booking of 2 nights or more through AmexTravel.com. Now, in addition to all of these credits, you also receive some other major benefits. First, there are no foreign transaction fees with this card, although American Express isn't as widely accepted worldwide as Visa and MasterCard. Second, you get a plethora of protection and insurance benefits, including rental car insurance, baggage insurance, purchase protection, and extended warranty protection. With the rental car insurance, you can be covered on up to $50,000 if the car is damaged or stolen. However, like the Chase Freedom Flex, this coverage is secondary, and so it kicks in after your personal auto insurance. So the Chase Sapphire Preferred is still the better card to use when booking rental cars. With baggage insurance, you can be covered on up to $1,250 for carry-on baggage and up to $500 for checked baggage. Purchase protection helps protect covered purchases up to $10,000 for up to 90 days. And then with the extended warranty, you get 1 extra year added to the original manufacturer's warranty that applies to warranties of 5 years or less. And lastly, like the Chase Sapphire Preferred, having the American Express Gold Card gives you access to all of Amex's transfer partners, where you can redeem your membership reward points for maximum value. I recently made a video on this as well, which I will also link down in the description. And now the fourth card you need in your credit card setup is the Bilt MasterCard. The Bilt MasterCard is currently the only credit card that lets you earn points on your monthly rent payment without charging any fees. On top of this no annual fee card offering you 1x points on rent up to 100,000 points per calendar year, you also get 5x points on Lyft, 5x points with Bilt Neighborhood Dining Partners, and 3x points on other dining, 2x points on travel, and 1x points on all the other purchases. But it gets even better. The card earns double rewards for qualifying transactions made on the first day of each month, which Bilt calls Rent Day, up to 1,000 bonus points per month. Now, unfortunately, it does not apply to rent payments, or else that'd be too OP, but to give you some perspective, on the first day of each month, you can earn 6x points on dining, 4x points on travel, and 2x points on all other non-rent purchases. A good strategy for maximizing that rent day bonus is to set up your recurring bills such as utilities, your cell phone bill, or your car insurance to the first of the month. This is important because not only will you earn 2x points on these expenses, but Bilt actually requires you to use the card 5 times each statement period in order to earn points. Now, unfortunately, this card does not offer a sign-up bonus, but the card does have some other great benefits. First, you get $5 in Lyft credits after you take 3 eligible rides in a month with this card. You also receive cell phone protection on up to $800 in coverage after a $25 deductible if you pay your cell phone bill with a Bilt MasterCard. And then this card does not charge any foreign transaction fees, and you also get a few additional travel benefits, including trip cancellation and interruption protection on up to $5,000, trip delay reimbursement up to $200 per day per traveler for up to 3 days if your trip is delayed by 6 hours or more, and primary auto rental coverage. But by far the best part of the Bilt MasterCard is that the Bilt points earned can be transferred to travel partners for outsized value. It's extremely rare to find a no annual fee card that earns transferable travel rewards, which truly makes the Bilt MasterCard an incredible travel card. Bilt has over 15 airline and hotel programs, including Hyatt, which typically gives you the best redemption value out of all the hotel programs. Now, so far, none of the cards mentioned gives you specific travel perks like access to airport lounges or TSA PreCheck or global entry credits, which brings us to the 5th and final card in the ultimate 5-card team travel setup, and that is the Capital One Venture X. Simple and premium travel credit card aren't terms that usually go together, but the Capital One Venture X is the exception. Like other premium travel credit cards, it has some serious travel perks, valuable statement credits, and lounge access, but for a much lower annual fee of $395. To start, the card has a bonus offer of 75,000 bonus miles when you spend $4,000 on purchases in the first 3 months from account opening, equal to at least $750 in travel. Now, other premium travel credit cards don't really offer useful earning multipliers outside of travel purchases, but this card actually rewards everyday spending by earning unlimited 10x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel, 5x miles on flights and vacation rentals booked through Capital One Travel, and unlimited 2x miles on all other purchases, making this arguably the best catch-all card on the market. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the card does come with a $395 annual fee, but offers benefits that effectively offset the annual fee entirely. First, you receive a $300 annual credit for bookings through Capital One Travel, where you'll get Capital One's best prices on travel guaranteed through several features like free price drop protection and price matching. You also get 10,000 bonus miles equal to at least $100 towards travel every year, starting on your first anniversary for just having the card. On top of the credits, you get other travel perks, including up to a $120 credit for global entry or TSA PreCheck, complimentary access to over 1,300 airport lounges worldwide through Priority Pass, and full access to Capital One lounges, which at the time of recording this video are open in Dallas-Fort Worth, Denver, Las Vegas, 2 different airports in Washington, D.C., and 2 more opening in New York, one at JFK and one at LaGuardia. You also get to enjoy a $100 experience credit and other premium benefits with every hotel and vacation rental booked from the Premier Collection, and complimentary Hertz Presidential Circle status. And just so you're aware, this is the top tier membership level, which gives you things like access to the widest selection of rental vehicles, guaranteed 1-car class upgrades, expedited pickup and returns, and more. And then some other general benefits with this card include cell phone protection up to $800, shopping protections including extended warranty and purchase protection, travel protections including trip cancellation and interruption insurance, trip delay reimbursement, primary auto rental coverage, and baggage delay reimbursement. You also get up to 4 free authorized users, and all authorized users also receive unlimited access to both types of lounges. Many other premium travel credit cards charge at least $75 per authorized user, so the fact that you don't get charged with the Capital One Venture X is actually a huge benefit. This card also does not have any foreign transaction fees, so you can get that flat 2% earnings rate anywhere in the world. And of course, you also get access to Capital One's transfer partners, which typically get you the best redemption value for your Capital One miles. Alright, so now that we've discussed each of the 5 cards in great detail, I quickly want to explain how you should use these cards and have them work together to make the most of this ultimate team travel setup. For rent, which is probably the biggest expense for most individuals, you will use the Bilt MasterCard to earn Bilt points. The next two largest spending categories for many individuals, dining and groceries, will be covered with the American Express Gold Card, earning you 4x membership reward points. For transportation costs like bus and train fares, tolls, and parking, as well as your streaming services, you should use the Chase Sapphire Preferred to earn 3x and 2x Chase Ultimate Reward points respectively. And then for travel and all other purchases, you should use the Capital One Venture X to earn valuable Capital One miles. Lastly, the Chase Freedom Flex is essentially the X Factor card where you swap in for any spending categories that give you 5x Chase Ultimate Reward points for the quarter. For example, if one of the bonus categories for the quarter is groceries, you would replace the American Express Gold Card with the Chase Freedom Flex to buy your groceries, but only for that specific quarter. Now, I believe this is the best 5-card setup because you diversify your credit card rewards, which provides more flexibility in how you can redeem them. By earning American Express membership rewards, Bilt points, Chase Ultimate Rewards, and Capital One miles, you get access to more transfer partners than if you only earned one or two of those points currencies. There is also some overlap between the transfer partners of each credit card issuer too, and so you also have the flexibility to transfer multiple credit card points currencies into one transfer partner if you need a lot of points for a specific redemption. Ultimately, diversifying your points and miles keeps your award travel options open, and that flexibility is a key to finding the best travel redemptions. Now, if you want to learn how to use transfer partners to book travel for maximum value, be sure to click either of these videos. That's all that I have for you guys in this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.